Good morning, everyone. Today is the first video on a new micro series of videos where we are going to talk about the beauty checklist. The beauty checklist is something that I've mentioned countless times throughout my previous videos. For example, how to get out of a beauty rut, which I will also link down below. And it's basically a tool that was inspired by vintage beauty standards, where there were books as well as other women helping each other, outlining things that they did every single week, every single day, every single month, every single year to help them maintain a higher level of beauty, a beauty standard that was pleasing to them, holding themselves to a higher personal standard, achieving a level of beauty that is not only aesthetically pleasing, but also feels good. A way of life where you can feel proud of the body that you are in, the features that you have, and confident in your beauty choices. That is what I want for you on this channel. So I've decided to make a more specific micro series where we will dissect things that you can add on your beauty checklist. For all those of you who are new, please, it would mean so much to me if you would like the video, leave comments down below, hit the subscribe button, join the community of women here where we like to talk about traditional femininity, and I also discuss elements of homemaking because I consider myself a more traditional wife. In addition, if you enjoy the message and you support the message that I have on this channel, it would mean so much to me if you would consider becoming a member, because every dollar that goes into that side of the channel I am using this year to produce better content, to invest back into this channel, because the foundation of this channel truly is a passion of mine. Moreover, that is where I share more personal life updates, and I'm also working on that side of the channel in the upcoming months as well. So anyway, back into the beauty checklist concept. This first video is going to be like really a basic video, but I encourage you when you are creating your beauty checklist to include basic things at the start. This will get you in a habit of holding yourself accountable and staying consistent in your beauty goals. I've mentioned also many times on this channel that because we live in a consumerist type of culture, there's this push to complicate our beauty routines, and that causes for us to miss the bare bones basics sometimes. And then a lot of us get overwhelmed with all of these choices and these like advanced beauty options that really focus on looks maxing, but in the process we neglect the foundations, such as keeping ourselves clean, having good feminine hygiene. So like I mentioned, a lot of the things that I'm going to talk about today are very basic and elementary when it comes to your beauty checklist, but they are the foundations and the things that I recommend starting with on your beauty checklist. Feminine hygiene, so to speak, is basically the process of just keeping yourself clean as a woman. And I do want to put a little bit of a disclaimer out there. I am talking from my own experience, what I would talk to a friend about, or like my daughter when she's old enough, the advice that I have based on the things that I was taught from my mother, as well as other medical professionals that I've encountered being pregnant, going through puberty as somebody who suffered from acne, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into my personal experience necessarily, but these are all influences that helped me have the knowledge that I have today when it comes to feminine hygiene. So I'm going to talk from an authoritative perspective, but this doesn't mean that I am right or everything that I'm going to say is what would be applicable for you. The purpose, again, is just to give you ideas to create your own beauty checklist, to hold yourself accountable and to remind yourself and ask yourself if you are doing these things on a regular basis and what you have to do to include these in your routine. If you want specific product recommendations, I'm going to share that on the member side of my channel based on me and the type of skin that I have, the type of hair that I have. It's not going to be applicable to everyone, which is why I share more personal things on that side of the channel. So anyway, we're going to start from the top down with hair. I have found that in our modern beauty culture, the standard of not washing our hair has just gotten a little bit out of control. I think it comes from a good place based on women who have more so textured hair as well as curly hair, but this standard of like keeping your hair unwashed in order to help it grow doesn't apply to everybody. And even in the cases where going longer between washes would help you personally grow your hair, if it is sacrificing on your feminine hygiene, I recommend just coming to terms with having shorter hair but a cleaner scalp so that you smell fresh, but also you feel fresh. What good is it if you're walking around with a greasy scalp that you probably are going to have to tie back for the sake of having long hair if you can't actually enjoy your hair? And one of the goals of enjoying your hair is wearing your hair down more often in a state that makes you feel confident. That's my personal opinion, and that is why I wash my hair more often. I went through a stage of trying to train my hair, but I'm the type of person who has naturally oily skin, so that didn't work for me. After 2 to 3 days, my hair just cannot handle it anymore, and I have to wash my hair. We don't often recognize that a lot of like your pheromones and your natural smell is emitted through your scalp, in the pores on your scalp. And so not washing your hair, although you might not recognize that you are starting to smell funky, the people around you, or the people that give you a hug, the people that are close in your lives, will smell it. It will also rub off on your sheets, and then that could cause clogged pores. If you have an oily scalp, that can cause some forehead acne, can rub off on blankets, on your couch, even when you are in the car. So it's very important to make sure that you are washing your hair regularly. And to get the best clean, if you do want to even extend the time between washes of your hair, I recommend double washing your scalp. The first time you wash your hair, you can use the same shampoo. I know some people use different shampoos. You can use the same shampoo for this, but the first time that you wash your hair, think about it as like getting the buildup and gunk out of your hair, and the second time really concentrating on the scalp. There are also scalp massagers and prongs that you can buy on Amazon if you find that you have difficulty massaging your scalp and really getting the shampoo throughout the roots of your hair yourself. Another thing that I have found has helped me, my hair's really dirty, has sometimes tilting my head in the shower to make sure that the water is creating more suds and I'm able to really get to the scalp and concentrate my efforts on cleaning my scalp and getting to the root of the oily problem. Moreover, if you're somebody who has an oily scalp very easily, concentrating your conditioner on the ends could better help keep your hair clean and minimize stinky smells emitting from your scalp. So anyway, moving on, in terms of the head, you of course want to make sure that your ears are clean. This is very personal on what you use. I know a lot of times people don't like to use Q-tips. There are special tools now that do help you take the wax out of your ear, metal type of scrapers that will prevent you from actually like pushing the wax further like some Q-tips do. There are also methods that you can use in terms of like water to get the wax out of your ear. The point is you want to make sure that you are actually cleaning your ears, and then when you are in the shower, you are also rubbing behind your ears, and you can use a washcloth for that. Whatever your preferred method of scrubbing your body is, just make sure that you are also cleaning that, because waxy buildup is something that is prevalent and many people don't recognize it on themselves just because they're not thinking about washing that part of their body on the regular. Next up, we have the face. We are going to talk deeper about specific facial beauty tips in the next couple weeks in this micro series, but in general, washing your face twice a day is something that I recommend to minimize buildup and, stinky oils coming from your face as well. If you are somebody who has blackheads easily, exfoliating the more oily parts of your skin, such as your nose as well as your forehead, can help minimize oil production from getting out of hand. And you don't necessarily need to do that every day, but if you do every day, you can also use a washcloth or a gentle exfoliating brush to get those parts of your face clean. But it's very important that you don't skip out or become lazy and, for example, wear your makeup to bed. Even in the instances where, you might have had a late night, you are going to be so thankful that you wash your face, because it is very important. Again, we also want to come back to the concept, like I was talking about in terms of your oily roots, transferring that oil to like your pillow, your sheets, like even your couch. You want to minimize this because you're also going to have to clean those things, but you don't regularly clean, like for example, your couch pillow every couple days. But the transfer of oils and dirts, you want to minimize that because it's going to start you essentially at square one if you're just constantly transferring oils from surface to surface and like back on your skin. Keeping a sanitary environment, a sanitary body body reaps the cumulative benefits. And personally, I also recommend like not skimping on washing your face. I know there was like a big beauty phase online, especially on YouTube, because there were sponsorships for like those beauty makeup remover wipes. Just using those things like in the morning, for example, after you get out of bed, I don't think is good enough to clean your skin properly. I recommend using water and soap over your sink or like taking another shower to properly wash your face. And speaking of taking off your makeup and washing your face, double cleansing your skin, which when I first heard this, I didn't realize like I was always doing it anyway. It's just like a fancy way to say wash your face twice. One, for the buildup, again, like your hair. Two, to actually get that grime and natural oils off your face. And make sure you're washing it long enough. Use the elementary rules of like washing your hands. Say the ABCs while you're washing your face twice, and you can ensure that each time you're going to be getting all of that gunk off of your face. Next up, in terms of your mouth, make sure that you are going to the dentist regularly, but I understand that the dentist is very expensive. Not everybody can go as regularly, and that is okay. When I was pregnant for a couple years, I will admit I didn't go to the dentist just because it was like very hard for me to go to the dentist, because like anything in my mouth, just, you know, long story short, if you've been pregnant, you know that that can make you feel sick. So for like a good chunk of like 3 years, I didn't go to the dentist, but I lied to the dentist and I said, oh yeah, it's only been like 1 year. I know you're supposed to go on average every 6 months. And because I had maintained still my oral hygiene, I was able to get away with that little lie. So that being said, you have to brush your teeth twice a day, preferably, you know, 3 times a day. I know not everybody can do that, but like if you are somebody who really wants to maintain your oral hygiene, you're going to want to brush your teeth after every meal. I don't do that, but I did when I had braces, just twice a day, as well as flossing, preferably again twice a day. But I understand like real life, you know, my kids are climbing up on me when I get ready every single morning. So in the evening, making sure that you're properly flossing your teeth and brushing your teeth and cleaning your tongue. That is going to help with the buildup of plaque, and the buildup of plaque, of course, causes stinky breath, which nobody wants, and it creates like a longer problem over time. You just want to nip it in the bud and make sure that you are brushing your teeth regularly. So now we are going down to body, full body. You want to make sure that you are properly cleaning yourself. I know there's a big debate online about like, should you wash your hair first or your body first? I don't really think that that order matters. Personally, I wash my body first just because my hair is so long, and then I wash my hair after, because if I were to do that, then I would get like the body soap in my clean hair. But my husband does it the other way, and I know other people do it the other way. The point is, it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but you want to make sure that you are cleaning your body properly. A lot of times people will forget to clean the more naturally oily parts of their body, such as their back, as well as their chest, under crevices such as in your chest, your armpits, your personal crevices, not inside your body, but your personal crevices on the outside. Very important that you have those things clean. And those oily parts of the body, I double cleanse those. Getting the crevices of your private area, very sensitive. I don't necessarily recommend like feminine hygiene soaps, although many women like those. What I suggest instead is to clean your body with a neutral, more natural soap. Think like goat's milk soap. That's very safe to use on your feminine areas as well as throughout your body, and it creates like a neutral pH. Or something as simple as like the plain Dove soap. That is going to work for pretty much anybody's skin type, and again, it's going to help create like a neutral pH, because sometimes when you have a pH that is unbalanced, your body is going to overcompensate and then cause for you to smell more. If you are somebody who is postpartum, or you're somebody who has a tendency to have stronger body odor, I recommend showering twice a day. When I am in the later stages of my pregnancy as well as early postpartum, I take 2 showers a day because I'm somebody who tends to sweat more so, and it's also a nice way to mentally refresh. You want to make sure, again, of course, that you get the crevices as well as your underarms. Your underarms in particular, we're starting like again, like from the top down. Some people are prone to more body odor, so you can actually use like a mask. I know some people even use the Indian clay mask or a specific underarm mask to neutralize that odor, and you can include it in your beauty checklist like once a week, for example. It's going to help you refresh your pits and create a nice canvas, again, like a pH neutral canvas. It's also important to note that if you are somebody who smells more easily, having more body hair tends to create that odor, like being more so entrapped and like more pungent. So you want to make sure that if you are a person like that, that you are regularly shaving your underarms. So like every other day, for example, shave your underarms. Every week, make sure you're shaving your bikini line. I am the type of person that likes to shave basically everything. So like every other day, I shave my entire body except for not like my private areas. That's like more so once a week or once every 2 weeks. But I have found for me, because I am an oily person, I'm a person that also, I can totally relate to you if you smell more easily. I am a person that tends to smell more easily, so maintaining the body hair on my body prevents that smell from getting out of control. Moreover, if you are shaving, exfoliating will definitely help you get a better shave and prevent you from cutting yourself. If you are somebody who is starting to shave your private area and you've never really done so before, I don't recommend straight off the bat like going down there and shaving. Start slowly by like having a designated pair of scissors, trimming that area first, and starting slowly the bikini line until you feel more confident in your shaving skills to go a little bit more intense. You also don't need to buy anything fancy if you're on a budget in terms of like shaving creams. Just making sure that you're applying, once again, that neutral soap and then you are shaving should do the trick. I have very thin skin. I am prone to cutting myself while shaving, but I haven't cut myself while shaving in years because I just make sure that I'm using my soap before I go in there with a razor. And again, I mentioned that there are specific products that I like to use, so I'm going to recommend those on the member side of my channel when it comes to shaving, because there are different types of razors that you can invest in that will help you get a better shave if you have sensitive skin in that area. And again, back to exfoliating. Exfoliating your body, people do it different ways. They do it through washcloths, they do it through loofahs. Although, you know, loofahs aren't necessarily the most sanitary. Some people like loofahs. Like, I'm not going to be on here telling you like don't use a loofah. I personally like a sugar-based body scrub or like a micro bead type of body scrub. I like very aggressive body scrubs, and that also helps clean out the more oily spaces on my body. You just want to make sure that you are wiping all of that off in the crevices of your body after you use it. For example, under your chest area is where that might get stuck, or like under your armpit area, you might have to extra cleanse. I recommend changing out your shower head for one that has like a head that you can use, because that'll also help you better clean all of your private areas, and again, like properly rinse off your body before you get out of the shower, because you don't want soap scrum, just like you don't want soap scrum gathering in your shower because it's going to make it a nightmare to clean. You don't want soap scrum residue on your body because it's going to add to that layer of gunk that you're trying to get off. So moving on to steps afterward, if you want to smell nice and fresh. So up to this point, I talked about like neutral smell. And so for this reason, I like to use a lot of classic products, a lot of neutral smelling soap. I mentioned like goat's milk soap, for example, regular Dove body wash. But of course, as women, sometimes we want to smell extra nice like cake or flowers, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I recommend doing that step after you have a super thoroughly clean base. And so now we're going into the concept of lotions. I still like to use a more so neutral lotion, such as a Lubriderm or a petroleum-based lotion on my body. But for that extra nice scent, I personally like vanilla and coconut, so I will mix it sometimes with a body oil. I won't put this all over because I get more oily, like I mentioned, on my chest as well as my back. I will more so concentrate on my arms as well as my legs, although I will moisturize the entirety of my body with a more so lighter moisturizer. For that nicer smell, I will use like Palmer's coconut oil on my arms as well as my legs. And Currently, I'm not using a body mist, but in the past I have, and on special occasions I do. And so you want to concentrate that on the areas, think like circulation of your body. So like your neck, behind your ears, as well as your wrists. Some people even do it like behind the ankles. Basically, the way that like I just mentioned, you want to think about it is in terms of the circulation, the veins of your body, to get that smell to interact with your natural body odor to create a more pleasant smell. When I was early postpartum, I really enjoyed natural body mists that had natural oils because they were pretty baby friendly and they helped me feel fresher during a time where I produced, like I mentioned before, more body oil. So lastly, I want to talk about the extremities. You want to make sure that you are cleaning your extremities thoroughly in the shower, such as your feet, between your toes, all that kind of stuff. But you also want to make sure that you are cutting your nails regularly. I've seen people joke about having like super long toenails. We are not joking about having super long toenails going into 2025. We are cutting our toenails regularly, once every week or once every 2 weeks. This depends on how fast your nails grow. But long toenails is very unhygienic because you can get things like athlete's foot from like bacteria accumulating. Moreover, making sure that you regularly clean and deodorize your shoes. I'm the type of person that doesn't buy shoes very often. I am like a low waist type of person, but I clean my shoes every couple months, like inside and out, just in the sink, and then I leave them out to dry because bacteria can accumulate in your shoes and again give you things such as athlete's foot. You can like transmit bacteria that can cause certain types of warts. Unhygienic feet is actually very dangerous, and it is a way that many elderly people, for example, lose limbs. So it's something that you do not want to skimp out on. Now, in terms of extremities, to make sure that you are getting proper like toenail hygiene, making sure that your cuticles are not splitting and getting infections. If you are the type of person that doesn't have time to do your own manicures, can help you refresh that canvas. For me, I haven't been to get a manicure or a pedicure in a long time because every week or every couple days I push back my cuticles, I trim like anything scraggly skin, I moisturize my cuticles with a cuticle oil, I moisturize my feet every single day with foot lotion before I go to bed, and I also use like a heel scraper to make sure I'm getting the dead skin off. However, again, if you don't have the knowledge on that or you don't have the time to learn how to do that at home, going every 6 months to a year, if you don't want to pay for manicures and pedicures like every couple weeks, is something that I'd recommend for good toenail and cuticle hygiene. So speaking again in terms of your extremities, if you are somebody who likes to have longer nails, you need to be cleaning under your nails. Such a neglected thing to do that many people don't do because they assume that it gets clean when they wash their body. No, if you have longer nails or if you get your nails done and you have like fake nails, leaving a cuticle scrub right next to your hand soap to make sure that you're scrubbing under your nails is very important to minimize the transfer again of germs and also getting sick. Enough said, all that kind of thing. Make sure you are scrubbing under your nails and be honest with yourself. If you are somebody who can't handle the responsibility of having longer nails, you can still paint your nails if they are short. You can still have fun expression with your nails. But if you live a lifestyle, for example, if you are a mom or you have like a very touching centered job, like I'm thinking like childcare, or you work with food, having long nails might not be for you. That doesn't make you less feminine. I made a video on like painting your nails won't make you feminine a long time ago. I will link it down below, shameless plug. But the point is that prioritizing hygiene over pretty nails is more important. And lastly, to finish off this video, I want to encourage you to wash your sheets and like wash things more often. Washing your sheets once a week is really the bare minimum. You should be washing your sheets at least once a week. I am a little bit OCD and I wash my sheets about like every 3 days, but I will never go more than 1 week. And if you find that you are a person who's like breaking out a lot, or again, like oil control, changing your pillow every 2 to 3 days, if you can't commit to washing your sheets more often, is what I recommend. Because even if you are taking night showers before going into your bed, you still have those dead skin cells, you still have natural body odor that emits itself when you are sleeping. So even though you might think that your bed is super clean, I promise you it is not. And you also want to make sure that you you either have a mattress cover or you're regularly like vacuuming, not with the head that goes on the floor, your mattress and like deodorizing it. You don't need to do anything special, just like baking soda will neutralize any odors and kill a lot of harmful bacteria. But making sure that your surfaces are clean is so important. Make sure that you are regularly changing your washcloth. If you use a washcloth, even like every day personally, or every 2 days, in my opinion, is ideal. I know it's a lot of laundry, but it will pay off in terms of your personal hygiene. Making sure that you're washing your coats, your scarves, because they interact with like, you know, your chin and cause for you to break out. That is very important as well. Your blankets that you use on your couch, your makeup brushes. I know I am a low waste person, but if you really struggle with cleaning your makeup brushes, consider switching to like disposable makeup sponges, for example, every few days to minimize using a grimy sponge that you haven't cleaned in like 2 months. You don't need anything special. You just need dish soap for your brushes to clean, wipe down your products. This is also very important for your eye health. I am actually somebody who suffers from like clogged oil glands on my eyes. So unfortunately, I am the type of person that has to be extremely meticulous on how often I wash my makeup brushes and replace my makeup. And so that's another reason why I'm always recommending to all of you some makeup dupes that are drugstore makeup brands, because it isn't going to cost you $200 every time that you replace your makeup. And again, that's just a personal preference for me. The point is you want to make sure you're regularly adhering to at least what's on the back of the makeup product, which is the expiration. We're going to dive deeper into makeup, but I do want to say in terms of personal hygiene, make sure you're not too influenced by like what people are using on the internet in terms of their makeup, because everybody is different. For me, I need more so matte makeup because I have oily skin. So I'm often putting a matte powder or a makeup blotting sheet on the oily parts of my face to absorb the excess oil. And right now, in terms of culture, very dewy and cream makeup is what is popular, but it doesn't work for me. So I stay away from a lot of current beauty trends when picking my own personal makeup. If you have anything else to add to the conversation, I'm sure there are things that I missed in terms of personal hygiene, but regardless, I hope that this inspires you and helps give you a good foundation to start your beauty checklist. I look forward to seeing you in the next video in this new micro series of building your beauty checklist. And once again, if you'd like to support the message further, consider becoming a member. It means so much to me. I don't know how much more to express it to you, but it really means a lot to me in the message and the passion that is behind this channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.